Right at it. Right at it. Oh,
Jordan
he's
Spieth.
done it again. Just as he did at the John Deere for his first win.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good night, whenever, wherever you're listening. Welcome to episode 167 of the Go Get That podcast. I'm on vacation. Jordan just got back from vacation. Dan is in a regular work week.
Yes.
But regardless, we are here because it's an important week, a big week. A lot of Ryder Cup things will happen this week. 20 men are getting cut from a chance to win the Tour Championship this week. So yeah, I read somewhere that like usually only one or two guys outside the top 50 get into the top 30 by the end of the playoffs, which was interesting to me. And I guess he's not outside the top 50, but he's right around there. So he's gonna need to play some good golf, to say the least. Anyone in that range is gonna need to play some good golf. If you're in that 70 range, you're really trying to win. That's really your goal. It's really tough to move up 20 spots without winning. Lucky enough, Spieth has 2 weeks to do that. If he's going to make the Tour Championship, he'd need 2 weeks, and he'll have 2 weeks, but
Well,
got to get the job done this week first. So
yeah, I was going to say that second week isn't quite guaranteed yet.
no, I more mean if he's in his quest to
do
make
it,
the
though.
Tour
He's got 2
Championship,
chances.
he's got
yeah.
2 weeks to do it. Yeah,
No, for sure.
But that quest could end quickly.
No, it could end very quickly. It'll be 4 rounds in Memphis this
It's always nice.
this week, which is always nice. Weather looks great. Of course, TPC South wind, there will be no wind. So probably 18 under or so. But yeah, good week to kind of move up. I think that has to be the goal. I'm appreciative that there's bigger things other than just making the BMW. Like there's a bigger goal in mind here. And I
Yeah.
think that kind of helps, that even if he falls short of that goal, if he pushes toward it, he'll make my goal, which is to make it to next week so I can see him in Baltimore at Caves with Jordan. But sitting at 48th, Jordan put it on his story earlier that technically he could finish, he just can't finish DFL, and he could finish 68th and make it to next week. Obviously, that would be basically the chalkiest week of all time. But that is a possibility. So I think you feel pretty good about moving up into safely into the top 50 with
It's tough to move up.
a similar staying within the top 50 with a similar performance to last week, just relative to the field size. So we didn't really get into Wyndham. I don't know how much you were able to kind of follow along, but I feel like if that's the amount of birdies is repeated, and hopefully some of the short putts and just kind of other Spiethian mistakes can get cleaned up,
Yeah,
I think
Wyndham
we're
had a lot of ugly.
looking at a pretty good week here in Memphis, hopefully.
I mean, he played the back nine
Poorly.
and hole number 5 for the week, like doomsday bad.
Yeah.
Played the rest of the front nine great actually, but he played more than half the holes pretty pathetically, so not a good sign there. I think that another pretty interesting week for the Ryder Cup, because now we have a new name introduced. Not a name that was winning on, but a name that wasn't really talked about before and now is. And I think the fashion in which Cam Young won contributed to that. But in terms of Spieth, it was another week where he was losing ground on the Ryder Cup. So
For sure. I think the
uh,
Ryder Cup feels, I'm
distant.
gonna say out of reach because I think we're 2 good weeks away. And I guess if those 2 good weeks are 2 really good weeks, then obviously it'll be
Yeah.
another week. Um, but it certainly feels it's pretty clear he's on the outside looking in to me at this point.
Yeah.
The game's just not quite good enough. Wyndham was interesting because I thought the swing for the most part looked pretty good.
I did too.
Um, I think he struck the ball pretty well, especially and it got better as the week went on, which is always nice. He was pouring it in from 10 plus feet, which is also great. Similar green types in Memphis this week as well, so that's encouraging. Obviously, the putts inside of 6 feet were um, an inexcusable amount of misses, but you kind of hope that that reverts to the mean and we can make some more steady progress up of leaderboards. But I was able to watch all of Sunday, and I really don't think it's I mean, we come back to this a lot, but structurally things look pretty good. It's more mentally, that, and then kind of some of the decision making and the shot types and shot choices seemed, like he hadn't been playing in competition golf a lot. And that's,
Yeah,
I
I think that's
guess,
fair.
sort of
Um,
understandable, but also like kind of disappointing, right? Because that, um, some good chances to keep making birdies with the way he was putting and kind of took himself out of a few of those chances with some of the decision making, the types of shots that he was playing, etc.
yeah, it was a hard week to take serious. The operation was kind of in full effect. Um, just laughing off short misses, pretty the driver collapsing another week where it needed to not do that. It's just it's crazy how someone who hit the ball so well off the tee last year can have weeks where he does this like this in Oakmont. I mean, I do feel like he got some pretty horrible eyes all week that I didn't really see anyone else get, but I mean, like you got to keep it in the fairway with Bermuda rough, and I mean we're missing fairways with irons, and that's just unserious. So
Well, I would like to say that Sunday was more buttoned up, um, in that regard. I think the misses on Sunday he got boned off the tee, and
I didn't really
that's,
watch the last 9 holes Sunday, but yeah, that's fair.
I
It's
mean, the
fair.
back nine wasn't
Yeah,
anything to write home about, especially on the scorecard, but I think it's I mean, it makes sense. It's a T31. He's been playing in full field events, pretty much T31 golf all season, outside of a few slightly better events. And this uh, was another week of that, but Memphis is obviously a smaller field. It's more like a signature event. And he's placed pretty well in these events over the course of the year. But again, a T15 here is more like a T30 at a normal event, just given the field size and the amount of guys that are
yeah,
contending or could have a pop week or whatever it might be. So, um, kind of a lot of the same old, same old. It was nice to see putts get holed from distance and often, but unfortunate to see two, especially on the weekend, 2 rounds sort of fizzle out with starting what 3 under through four, and then going to play a 520-yard par five and walking away with a six and having to hole a 4 or 5 footer for five, um, is not ideal, and I think maybe a sign of somebody trying to get a little too much out of those par fives, but uh,
yeah.
certainly hope more of the good stuff can translate this week to Memphis.
Yeah, I think a lot of what's to talk about this week is pretty similar. We're kind of in the same situation. It kind of feels like he needs a win for the Ryder Cup, or at the very least a top 10, 2 straight weeks. Which is kind of where we were before. We did kind of know that Wyndham was was kind of a throwaway week. Like not much was going to change, um, unless he top like threed.
Yeah.
So we're kind of in the same spot here. Um, but forgive me, I'm violently tired. But I think that I I can't really gauge how much the boys' club will play a factor into the Ryder Cup, which is interesting because we have two completely different things he's playing for right now, and one is completely subjective, and the other couldn't be um it couldn't be more objective. So you have, I mean, one's literally just numbers. He's got to get to a certain number by the end of this week. And it's gotta go because he misses. I think that's the easiest way to look at it because he misses the BMW and it's over regardless
Oh yeah.
for both of them. So step one is get to the BMW and then kind of see where we are for the Ryder Cup and Tour Championship. But I mean, he's got to get to the BMW. So I mean, we're probably looking at a top 30 probably gets it done
Yeah.
in any scenario. You'd think, right?
Yeah, I think that's about right. Anything outside of that, it's kind of
You're leaving it up to yeah.
holding your breath a little bit. I think uh anything outside of, I mean, and look, it's a 70-man field, and you're gonna have a few guys that just play some pretty bad golf this week for whatever reason, right?
Yeah.
Memphis isn't wouldn't say it's the most difficult course they play on tour, but you can certainly make a seven out there pretty quickly. And it's going to be hot. I
Yeah.
imagine there's a chance it's firmer than it normally is, which will be kind of nice because I think it's sort of a quirky golf course, but I think it's fair. I think you can
I
make
agree.
birdies,
I think
but it can
it's a
gobble
pretty
up.
poor course, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's
Um
there's nothing special about it, but I don't think
no, there
it's
really isn't at all. But it's you know exactly what you're getting.
Mhm.
So it's right in front of you. Requires good golf shots. Bad golf shots are gonna lose ground, not because you're gonna get in a heap of trouble, but because you got to make birdies here.
Yeah.
Missing the fairway, and it's gonna be harder to make a birdie, and pars aren't really doing much. I expect probably 15 or more of the holes to play under par this week.
Yeah.
So
Might play a fraction tougher than that just because of the water that's on the course.
yeah,
Um, but I think for the most part, you're
doesn't
going into
this
every hole
course
with.
have the most water balls?
I believe that to be true, outside of maybe Sawgrass, um,
Yeah,
or Honda. But there's quite a few that end up in the lake in the ponds here. I think there's water on three, four. I'm trying to think of five, six, seven, eight, nine. Water all down the right on 12, 11, 14, 17, 18 obviously has attracted a few Spieth hooks. So, um, yeah, there's plenty of plenty of chances to make double, but and I think that's what's slightly concerning about the Wyndham week. You brought up the driver. I think it got better as the week went on, but missing 5 yards right of the fairway on 12 here, and you're in the drink. And the penalty isn't just a tough luck of the draw lie at the Wyndham. It's a drop, and you're scrapping to make a five at a golf course where
yeah,
your playing partner's got 5 feet for birdie on the same hole. So uh it's
yeah.
certainly you know having the driver in order, the 3 wood in order. Please,
Well,
no
yeah, you
Mr.
got to keep it
Hybrid this
straight this
week.
week.
Yeah.
You can't be. You can't be having wild misfires with irons either. It's got to be a tight knit misses all week, and it's just not something he's been doing recently. So, decision making's got to be better than it has been. Just a lot of it just has to be sharper. A lot's got to be
Yeah,
a lot sharper. So
it
that's
really,
uh that's the big thing.
yeah, it was interesting, I think, watching because his floor is so much higher this year. Just because I think things are mechanically and structurally better, but the some of the decision making is still so um poor, but also rushed and just kind of momentum kills. Like there was a lot of talk on Sunday from him, just like, man, why'd I play that type of shot? Or like I deserve this lie because, especially on five, because I tried to hit too much club or whatever it might be. Um, and that kind of stuff is things you'd hope would be just sorted out um in the next week. And you can probably point to, I mean, maybe 8 shots or so that 2 shots around that he gave away last week, given how many birdies he was making. So um we'll see how buttoned up it is, how much more in control it is. I mean, it should be I know he's off early Thursday, which is really nice. I think he's one of the first three groups out Thursday morning uh behind Matai Schmid, Minwoo, and JT Poston. So he'll get a fresh greens and just kind of be out there, good pace of play. So hopefully can get in a rhythm, post something early, and kind of take the making the cut off the mind, or the cut, um making it into next week off of his mind, and go from there with trying to actually win the tournament. Because I think you've come up a little short of that, and your larger goals will be kind of more in reach in that sense.
Yeah, yeah. I think yeah, I mean, it's not. This is the position he kind of put himself in. It's not the time of year where it's fun to be trying to play your way into the next week early on in the playoffs. That's never a good sign. Um, I guess it's a little easier now since they took away the starting strokes, but if you weren't top 10 and you were if you were on that like 50-60 range, like I mean, the uphill battle to win is so much harder. Like you almost have to win to get into East Lake if you're in that range, or put two stellar weeks together because it's guaranteed points every all the
Yeah.
weeks now. So everyone's getting points
Yeah, and
besides
they're all
Rory.
3 or 4 times what the normal points
Yeah.
are. So a
So it's
T,
really hard to move up without winning. And
yeah, no, a
right now,
T20,
Spieth's game is not in a spot to win.
no, it's not.
So,
It was
but
pretty, the tee to green was like bang average last week. Like all three of them were basically right around zero. And he actually putted pretty well, but even with all the short misses, and it's
yeah.
some of the putts inside of 4 or 5 feet were
Oh, they were bad.
uh, about as ugly as it gets, and I'm not sure. You kind of just have to assume those will be better this week, but it's not like Wyndham greens are slippery or overly challenging in any way.
No,
And
no,
these are
they're
the
as
same.
straightforward as
These are
they
the
come,
same.
besides them being grainy.
Yeah, and these are the same sort of complexes and grass types in Memphis. So he has putted well here. I'll pull up his numbers here.
That's well said.
From on Data Golf in regards to his kind of history around um, Southwind, but it's certainly a course that I think I feel like it fits him pretty well if he's playing. Obviously, if he's playing his best stuff, anywhere fits pretty well. But I think just in general, there's plenty of opportunities to make up for mistakes, but the mistakes can be pretty penal at times. So let's see the history here at Southwind. Um, Obviously a T68 last year was um, you can sort of chalk that up to the wrist, but T6 in 23, a missed cut in 22, but then a T12, T30, T12. So some decent history, and I think, I mean, I don't know what I'd actually sign for, but seems like 4 out of his 6 most recent trips here would get the job done for sure in terms of getting to Memphis or getting to Caves,
Yeah.
which as we said, there's kind of levels to the goals of each week, and right now it's
Yeah, it's just got to be
got to
get to
take
next
care
week.
of step one before you can
No
worry
matter
about
what, if you
steps
get to
3 and
next
4.
week, getting to next week keeps the Ryder Cup alive, which is
Yeah,
nice. Because no matter how bad he plays this week, if he gets it the next week, he can still win and in. So
in theory.
the Ryder Cup is alive for another week if he gets through the here, and it's completely dead if he doesn't. So,
Yeah,
I mean, it would have to be some pretty poor play to miss from where he is.
it really would. You think
Um,
probably 7 guys is probably about the max that would get through, and that's if chaos kind of ensues.
yeah,
Um, so I mean, you're really looking at like I feel pretty good about being in the top half of this field and moving through. But
yeah,
obviously you'd like something a little bit higher up the board to
right.
kind of get inside of that top 40, or I mean,
Give
obviously it'd be
himself
ideal to get inside of the
realistic
top
chance.
30 going into next week, but
Yeah,
I mean, we're 2 months removed from the US Open and the Memorial as his sort of last top 10. So
yeah. There was some contention in that stretch.
there was some contention, and now it feels like sort of a ways away, but um another week probably solo. I'd imagine the family's still in Texas for the most part. So
Yeah, you'd have
McCormick,
to guess.
the uh the trio of McCormick, Greller, and Spieth will be probably grinding.
Danzy, don't forget Danzy.
Oh yes. Well, yes, he'll be there, surely rooting on his client to get to
Yes.
Baltimore so that they can go show him the new
Wouldn't expect him to be out for the
Under
morning
Armour
tea time.
stuff. What's up?
Wouldn't expect Danzy to be awake for the morning tea time.
No, no. Good chance Danzy will have his own tea time.
Yes, yes.
And
Very good.
come,
Very possible.
yes, he will not arrive until it is time to get him on the plane to wherever is next, I presume, or hoist the trophy. But that, I think he already knows that's
Yeah,
likely.
hopefully the plane is not back to Dallas. That's
No, it
that's the hope. But
better be a stop in Baltimore.
yeah. What else do I have? I want to know if your Ryder Cup team has changed after last week.
I don't think I have a Ryder Cup team. I think I feel and maybe after this week I'll sit down and actually make one. Cam Young is interesting to me because I think he's shown, and who knows, maybe this win takes so much pressure off of him and he plays really well again this week and it makes it pretty easy. But I think he's shown that he's like in a tier as a golfer that's a more elite than some of the other guys that he's in contention of being picked with, right?
Are you right?
Um, like he's a better golfer than Ben Griffin. Like his ceiling is higher. His
Sure.
peak golf is better.
I don't know if I'd give him over Ben Griffin, but certainly over Goddard.
See, that's where I'd slightly disagree. I think Ben Griffin's a good
I
player.
think ceiling wise, yes. But Ben Griffin's been a really good player on the PGA Tour for 3 years now in terms of just like being there.
Yeah, but I'm not. and this is not because I think Ben Griffin might be on my team if I sat down and looked at it. I just think
I think
that
Ben Griffin's basically locked in.
I think that I was trying to think of other bubble guys, and I think that if Cam Young's playing this way, you don't not pick him. I don't
I think
think
I agree.
because that's firepower that I don't think some of these other
Yeah,
guys
I
have.
think the course fit gives him the call over a lot of those guys. And I think the locker room likes Cam Young. I mean, I don't think he's necessarily their vibe, but I don't think anyone would really have a problem with him being on the team. Um, Good evening, Jordan. Now that
Good
you
evening,
have
guys. How are we doing?
stopped in, not bad,
And
not
I'm
bad.
just thinking Ryder Cup.
Yeah,
Bob asked me about
we talked some
being on my
Spieth.
team.
We talked about how it's a lot of the same. Like the situation hasn't really changed since the last time we talked. So, um, yeah, I think that um we were talking about how the goal this week is just get into caves because everything dies if he doesn't. We also talked about how it really shouldn't be that difficult to get into caves. So, um, yeah,
I
was he
mean,
48th right now?
yeah, you would think it wouldn't be difficult, but this guy makes everything pretty difficult. Um, but I don't know if you have any. I'm sure you do have some Southwind thoughts or some Wyndham thoughts or some just general
Yeah,
plays.
apologize for the tardiness. Get home thinking ready to roll, and I get a text from Mark stuff. But anywho, more importantly, Spieth, Wyndham, yeah, you guys pretty much touched on it. He's just getting like nothing out of pretty much every week he plays, it seems. It doesn't seem like he's too far. I mean, Saturday, Sunday, I didn't really watch. I was down at the beach. Bob's at the beach this week. We're all enjoying our beach life during the summer. Um, what is he, 3 under through five, 2 consecutive days, and then just completely kind of implodes, makes a bad swing here, bogey there, goes to the tougher side and just can't keep it together. Um, I don't know. It didn't feel like he played too poorly, but he didn't definitely, I mean, what? The podcast contribution at the Wyndham's $38. I think he made 19 birdies and shot, what was he?
7 under.
7 under with 19 birdies at a golf course. It's pretty relatively easy. I mean, I know the back nine can be a little bit tough, but I mean, overall, it's just not that difficult of a golf course. Um, that stinks. So yeah, just didn't really get a whole lot out of it. Kind of the same old, um, the old playing better than he's scoring type of thing. Um, and yeah, I don't know what you guys have touched on with Southwind, but obviously an important week for multiple reasons.
Yeah, we're talking a little bit about how Southwind's kind of quirky, but it's sort of similar to Wyndham, and this is where some of the like slight concern comes in about the driver because you can't miss fairways at Southwind. I mean, you can, but you're not going to be able to score. And if your you'll watch your playing partner hit the middle of the fairway and stick it to 5 feet. Um, and if you miss a little too far on a few different holes, you're gonna be grabbing a new ball from the bag. So the penalty here is, well, now you got to get up and down to save bogey uh, from the water ball, and double comes into play, triple comes into play. We all know the water lurking left on 18 has seen a few of Spieth's Titleists,
Yes.
and that I think is slightly concerning given some of the off the tee play last week, but kind of on
The
the
water
flip
will be
side,
found this week.
yeah, there will be some splashes this week, but on the flip side, similar putting surfaces, similar putting greens. He's putted well here before. Some momentum from 10 to 15 feet, uh, or excuse me, 10 plus feet last week, hoping that carries over and some of the sort of reverting to the mean inside of five. because he was impossibly bad inside of 6 feet last week. So I think that was kind of the summary of where we're at with Memphis and what we're kind of looking at and keeping an eye on.
It's good stuff. Yeah, you guys covered it well. I think Dan, you kind of said it well. He kind of makes nothing easy, and I don't think this week it's necessarily going to be easily into the top 50. I have I'm not very optimistic this week that he'll play great. I do think he gets to the BMW just because, kind of the what he has to do is very much within the realm of possibility. But knowing him, we're not going to know until Sunday if he's in or not because that's just kind of the way the year's been. It's just nothing's been easy at all. Um, and yeah, I'm not too optimistic this week. You kind of covered it. Relatively somewhat similar course to Wyndham. You got to hit fairways. And I mean, he just, with every club last week, you guys watched more than I did. I was on vacation, but I mean, he was missing fairways with irons, with the driver. It's just like, did not do a good job at all getting into play last week and then found himself in, the what Bermuda rough there and got some crappy lies, but simply hit the fairway. You're not playing out of the rough.
The
Um,
irons were incredible
yeah.
off the tee.
Yeah.
I
Missing fairways
mean,
with a 4 iron is
missing
impossible somehow.
missing runways that are far too wide.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
No.
it's not.
it's you miss the fairway with an iron, you deserve to get punished, and he got punished multiple times last week. So
Yeah, it's well said. I did. I mean, I watched Sunday, and obviously Sunday's one round, but those things got cleaned up slightly. There was also kind of this idea that there's just some like competitive rust, which sucks to have at this point in the season. Right, this is supposed to be obviously you peak for the four majors, but the trophy they all really want is the FedEx Cup championship. And
it's true.
we've got a long ways to go to get there, and you want to be playing your best golf at the end of
Well,
August.
and the Byron Nelson CJ Cup.
Well, yes, right. But arguably, he did play his best golf at
He did.
Ranch
Best
this
finish of the
season.
year.
So
Yes.
he saved his best for Ranch, which I appreciate, but I would also appreciate some really good stuff here. Um, so that so we can enjoy uh a few more weeks here of this season because it's been sort of an interestingly like bland ride result wise, but sort of a topsy-turvy, like very classically Spieth bland, and that there's a lot of ups and some downs and some momentum and some not momentum. I mean, there's some green boxes on there, which is exciting compared to 24, but certainly looking to finish strong, and it'd be fun to go. Ryder Cup to me feels kind of lost. Um, but I think East Lake would be a really nice kind of capper to the year, is my kind of
I've
where
thought
I'm
about how the outrage would be if he does get on the team purely on boys club points. I think it would be large.
I would be large. But I think if he gets to East Lake, it'll be less
If he
large.
gets to East Lake, I think he's on the team. Because if he gets to East Lake, that means he probably needs a top 5 and a top 10 at the very minimum
Yeah.
for him to get to
Really
East
that
Lake.
much?
I think he would need to get to East Lake, I think he'd need, well, a top 5 at either of the two should get him there.
Yeah, I
What,
disagree.
800 points or something?
Yeah,
I
but
think
everybody
that
else is
I
gonna
was looking like people in that 50 range, usually only one or two make East Lake a year.
Yeah, makes sense because so many dudes are already locked in, probably.
So many guys are locked in, and
Well,
it's
yeah, I'm
automatic
not
points
talking
for
a
2 weeks for
six-way
everyone.
T5. I'm talking a legit like solo four, two-way T3. Like it's got to be a legit finish to kind of boogie that. I think, if he goes and T4s here at Memphis, I think you're kind of right on that. Mm, maybe just outside the 30, maybe just inside the 30 going into Baltimore. but it's
Just gotta
and yeah. No,
this
I
year.
was we don't really know. You said it earlier, like we probably will not know until he's walking up 16, 17, 18 fairway on Sunday. It's like, where's he going to be? Because even if he's in the picture on Saturday, who knows how Sunday's going to go, right? And that's just how it goes, I guess. And that's part of the thrill ride. But when it's trying to get to the second round of the playoffs versus competing for major championships, competing for normal championships, competing for any championship, it's like, man, this is an interesting fascination we have with this fella. But nonetheless,
It,
looking forward to this week very much.
it would be pretty brutal if his season ended at the same spot it did last year when he was playing with half a wrist last year.
Agreed.
Like he's played much better golf this year, but the way the points
Hasn't
are and
played
everything, he
much.
just hasn't. The FedEx Cup rewards the peak weeks, and he just hasn't had many of them. So
Yeah. He hasn't
he
played a lot either. 18 events. Like that's
typically at probably 2021.
yeah, but that's the schedule of an elite player.
Yeah, an old bag.
Like
Old
the
bag of bones.
like a guy like in his class needs to be playing 22 events.
Rory's played 15, and he's staying at 15 this week.
Right. Well, Rory again, elite player.
Yes.
It's Mr. Scheffler, elite. Mr. Spieth, far
Good.
from it.
Good.
Far from it. Speaking of far from it, me to the top of the triple double leaderboard. Uh, it was another astounding week from my team. I got a whopping 42,000 at the Wyndham, thanks to Rick Flower and Adam Scott. So I don't have my plays yet. I'll work on them, but it
They're
seems
not
like you guys
necessarily
do. And
good.
honestly, at this
It's
point, it's a
mathematically
change of
over,
pace.
unfortunately.
Yes, I just put E next to my.
Well, if the winner gets all right, the winner gets 3.6 million this week.
I would have to sweep table.
I mean, we've seen t the tables be ran before.
Uh,
Can
I mean, maybe I'm not much
I
of a
think it's
table
I
runner
think it's
though.
an E for Dan.
Dan needs two winners and then like two guys to finish like fifth or something.
At least. And you guys have to
I've
get nothing.
I've placed the E next to Dan.
Oh, oh, come on with
Well,
that.
I'm gonna compete and we'll see. But it seems I
You're
now
gonna
very
fight.
much yes, fight. Yes. I will fight. That is for sure. No give up in this guy.
I'll give my plays. This episode's kind of boof, but there's
Like
just not
what?
much to talk about.
You're yeah, you're also 3.6 million down on me, Bob.
The thing that kills is that it's guaranteed money for everyone.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I am glad I did not save McElroy for Memphis because he's not here. I very much thought about doing that, but
I still have a Rory use for next week.
oh
No.
God, I think it's over.
Well, I might not even use them.
You,
We'll see.
dude, you
Rory has high numbers in his bag at times.
you slammed the door because we're not doing East Lake, right?
No.
No.
Yeah. So you
It's
slammed the
just,
door playing Rory next week.
Yeah. I'm taking Fitz, Glover, and Birds. A lot of that's because I only have so many names to use.
What a trio.
I was well down my list as well.
So those are people that we took on the Scratch Gamblers card.
Actually, I'll
I
be
added
playing.
Glover in there. Is Glover even playing this week, actually?
Well, I used them last week and did not go well last week.
Glover may not even be playing this week.
Oh, he has to be playing.
I would
Is there any chance he didn't make the playoffs?
I would assume he's playing.
Yeah, he's eighth in my model this week, Bob. I love the play.
Wow.
I would use him if I could, but I can't. I'm pretty sure
Um,
I've
Coming
used
in with some unfortunate form.
yes. I've used everyone from first to 12th on the model.
Well, Dan has fully eliminated himself with his first pick.
yeah, I'm filling out my picks right now because I'm feeling it. Um,
You want me to go down as you figure out pick through? Oh, you got them in there.
yeah, I just threw them in there. We're rolling Spieth, English, Young. It's gonna be that's the leaderboard, 1, 2, 3, and it's gonna make Captain Keegan's work all the more interesting.
FanDuel is giving Spieth an 80% chance to make the cut this week.
Little too
That's
high there.
there is no cut.
I know.
That's incredible.
Thank you, FanDuel. Mike Kim, 68%.
Good news for Spieth off early Thursday morning. We'll have a chance to be the pace setter.
Yes. For the top or the bottom.
That's
He laughs because he does not know. Could
dude,
very
he
well be either.
yeah, Spieth is uh he was never gonna be a play for me. He's 29th in my model.
I will take a T29.
Yeah. He's just and this is what sucks. He's fully capable of doing anything well, but he's not very good at anything right now. Like he can do one day we saw it Thursday at Wyndham, he can putt great. We saw Friday he could hit the approaches great, but they rarely all come together. Um, that's just the story of this year.
And
But
that's why 2026 will be fantastic.
yeah, did we cover in the Wyndham preview? You just said it, Dan. Did we cover in the Wyndham preview, or did you guys cover it before I came on his comments about 26?
I don't think we did.
Some cool nuggets there, some optimistic stuff,
We
literally.
might have briefly mentioned it now that I kind of think back to it. I mean, I don't disagree, but you would like to see a little more like why aren't things getting nailed down in 2025 with how much time you spend on the range after major rounds? Like, I don't know. And I know things take time and I'm excited for 26, but uh who knows at this
Theory, it shouldn't be worse than this year. I mean, if it's worse than this year, I mean, the podcast is probably just calling it quits at that point.
point.
It's like we got to be peaking for something as a podcast, as a player, as a team.
Right. Team Spieth.
Yeah, team speed. Like, I know it's a 15-year plan, but it's like,
True. That
I mean,
is
we got
that
to start
is
kicking it into gear.
it is easy to lose sight of the fact that we are in year one of 15.
Yes.
This is a marathon, not a sprint.
I want the year 10 projection.
Like my guess at where he's at in year 10.
No, I want like as the team speed like plotted this all out. Like, what's year
No,
10 gonna look like? Year 11.
no, they just thought of this in year one, halfway through year one. They were like, oh, this is a 15-year plan.
Yes.
If he wins a major in year 5, I think they just get rid of the plan though. It's like plan came
Well,
true.
yeah, at that point, it's time for another kid.
Come
At that point, it's time for another kid. And
It's
honestly, it may be a complete hang up of the practice shoes if it's the PGA. May
I mean,
just be like,
Bob kind of noted it when Rory won the Masters. Like, that's fine. Honestly, like,
yeah, well,
there's no
that's,
greater peak.
yeah, I think that would be our last episode, probably.
But yeah, I mean, I think Spieth would be fine going out that way. I
I'd
mean,
go out that way.
Paul ask.
If Rory was going like, I don't know what my purpose is after winning the Masters, surely Spieth is going to be way worse than that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Of
but he hasn't
course.
even come close to the PGA.
Some would say he'll never come close.
Well,
It's true.
I'd say he might not. He might get one more decent chance, but
I think he'll thrust that around a mink.
I want to put your money on it.
It'll be a T8 by thrust.
Sign for that right now. He'd probably sign for that. My triple double plays the leader by 3 million. Um, yeah, guys, the 1 through 12 in my model are all used twice, so going to the bottom of the barrel here. I'm going Xander, who's
Hmm.
actually starting to show some good form, which is good with all the Ryder Cup talk. He's kind of was struggling a little bit out of the gate this year. He was hurt. T8 at the Scottish, T7 at the Open, starting to find it a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm going Hideki, which I really didn't want to do, but yeah, he's got 3 straight green boxes on Data Golf, but I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily a Hideki week. And then my long shot play of the week who gets used as well is Mr. Ryan Gerard.
Ooh,
I believe you used him earlier this year, Dan.
I did at Valero.
Yeah, I don't know how it went at Valero.
It was a second place. Mr. Gerard's a flusher.
Exactly, yeah. He hits fairways and he hits good iron shots. So
Would be nice.
kind of think Bob used him at the Byron Nelson. That led to $0, but we're all getting in a Gerard play this year, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Great take.
He's an interesting follow. Quick note on Hideki. Flushed it last week. Couldn't make jack. So
That's a theme this week for my guys, Dan, because Gerard hasn't gained strokes putting since the Truist.
oof.
It's been, it's
That is a
been-
that is a large oof.
that's 9 straight tournaments losing strokes with the putter.
That's wild.
Oh man, yeah. So I'm gonna bet on Gerard finding it with the putter this week.
Yeah. I think Hideki's the type of dude to win. He's played really well here before. That's actually great. I like him better than your model does.
Yeah, I mean he's a respectable 13th. It's just if I had it my way, there'd be guys I'd rather use. But
Is
Yeah.
Scotty number one?
oh yes.
Is he number one every time you tee up the model?
No, Rory was number one week.
1 week.
Yeah, I forgot which week it was, but I remember saying in the Scratch Gamblers Twitter chat that I would take Rory over Scotty this week, and I believe Rory did beat him that week. I just don't.
At the Scottish?
Was it the Scottish?
Yeah. Well, yeah, he did.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah,
it
in
must have been
second.
the Scottish week where I took Rory because that golf course is
Was a laughable take.
Rory can just
But
not.
you never take Rory.
I mean,
Over
that golf course is just hit it as far as you won and find the golf ball, and it's like that's what Rory likes.
Yeah, but Rory's a poor champion.
That's fair. That is
You're
fair.
you're getting no value. You're betting on Rory to top 4, basically, because Scheffler never finishes outside the top 5.
Well, the T8 for Scotty at the Scottish, so and then he
A floor performance.
swept the floor a week later.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was just getting warmed up for the Open.
Yeah. Bob,
So-
will Spieth be at the BMW next week?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. Well,
We have a fighting chance to get past the BMW.
No.
yeah. I'm just
Season
hoping.
comes to a close right in front of you two next week.
Yes. I'm just hoping.
We'll see you at the Hero.
Well, I'm just hoping there's something to watch next week. I mean, obviously,
Would be really unfortunate.
he could shoot 477s at Caves, and I would not care.
It would
Well,
be
I'd
nice
care
if
a
we
little
both.
bit.
It would be unfortunate if all three of us ended up at tournaments that Speed did not end up playing.
Yeah.
Thank
He's
you,
got to make it through.
Well, Travelers is.
I think his floor is like he's playing mid golf all season, and if he plays mid golf this week, he gets in.
Yeah, I mean, last week was pretty embarrassing, and he still finished T30. So
That's what I'm saying. And a full field. Like I know it's a crappy field, but
it wasn't that bad.
true.
There were some
It
laughable
was.
names that finished above Spieth, though.
True.
I mean, just some.
I have to run. But
Harry Higgs for one.
yes.
A good win. Ricky Castillo. Webb Simpson.
Oh my yes.
Barely
Simpson,
plays anymore. Barely
the great champion of Greensboro, of Wedgefield. But we head to Southwind.
Yes.
with
Bob's got to go.
with caves on our mind.
I should make a take when Bob leaves about Southwind that he probably wouldn't like, but I would take Southwind over Sedgefield.
Oh,
Goodbye, Bob.
goodbye,
As
Bob.
Bob exits.
Bob exits to the take.
And it's just me and Dan. But yeah, that's my take. I looking back at Wyndham, this is a take that got flack in our group chat. I think it's a good course for member play. I don't love it for pros. That's just my opinion. I think it's the same. I think most holes it's hit to 15 feet, and whoever makes as many putts wins the golf tournament. I mean, that's what Cam Young did, which it's fine. It's not like there's worse courses on tour, but yeah,
Yeah,
Cam Young was first in the field in putting. Um, it's a
yeah,
putting contest, and you just hit as many fairways as possible, kind of deal.
right. I don't disagree. I actually kind of like Memphis.
I do too.
Like
I
Bob was saying, it was a poor golf course, but I think it's got, unlike some of the other courses on tour, I think it's actually got some character. Even if it's weird character, it's still character. Like it's got a little like, unfortunately the wind never blows because they play it in August. And it just turns into TPC no wind.
TPC Swamp.
Yeah, TPC super hot and a lot of birdies. But I mean, you shoot 4 under there every day, and you feel pretty good about where you're at. Like it's a par 70, right?
Uh, yes.
I think that's true. Yeah, par 70. There's only two fives, some tough threes. You can make a double pretty quick, and on any hole you can make a double. Um, and usually produces a great leaderboard and a great finish. And I
Yeah.
think that that's kind of what you want out of a first playoff event. Do I wish they were in the Northeast or something? Probably. Like Memphis in August is kind of dumb, but that's where FedEx is, then that's where the tour goes. So I don't know.
You
I,
gotta go
I
ball there. I mean, you gotta like Wyndham. You gotta. I think there's a little bit more emphasis on the iron play at
yeah,
Southwind than there is at Wyndham, just because I think it's iron play, and it isn't wedges into pretty much every hole besides a couple. But yeah, I was doing my research for it, and you kind of said it. It produces a great champion usually. Um, I know from, if you're looking at it from a betting standpoint, favorites, I mean, usually clean up there. And, and favorites for cleaning up tells you it's probably a pretty good golf course because, they set themselves apart. So, um, yeah, it's kind of what I noticed when I was, doing my research this week.
yeah.
Dare I use the word underrated? It gets a lot of crap. I think I would take Southwind over quite a few courses that they play. So
Yeah. I might chalk it up as overhated
I think that's a fair term.
versus underrated. I think people just don't like it doesn't really have any like teeth. It just is kind of not like overly easy in some sense. You can make 6 birdies, but then I think maybe you get like a bad shot gets punished too harshly, too often because of all the water. Uh, but it has to be like a really bad shot. You can hit bad shots and still have 35 feet or whatever it might be. But there's some tough pins and some tough holes. All the par threes are tricky. Number four is a brute. 14's tough. Trying to think some of those par fours on the front. 7, tough golf hole. 17, big boy golf hole. 18, big boy golf hole. Like you really gotta golf your ball. So I think that's fun, and I think it's a fitting first playoff event. Um, and the weather's gonna be great this week. No delays, which is fantastic. And it really like it all it's missing is 10 miles an hour breeze, and that place would people would love it. But um they just don't get it. So
You get the south wind direction, but not enough wind.
yeah, you get a few yards of help, a few yards of hurt, which Spieth is going to be screaming about come Thursday morning, right? But um, we'll
Probably
see.
screaming about the second consecutive week with a very early tee time, but
Yeah, no, it's nice though. Fresh greens, putted well at Wyndham from outside of 10 feet.
yeah.
Similar green like types, grasses. Like I would hope that some things get cleaned up, and I feel decent about the possibilities of a pretty good week, but I am slightly concerned about the bottoming out if the off the tee play is not sharper, because that will um, Hazard is uh, is out there quite a bit, but he's driven it well here over the time. I think there's just a lot of good sight lines and some confidence, so we'll see. But I
Yeah,
don't know
well
if you have
stated.
any
I mean, we
more.
got no, just we got to get you into the Baltimore area next week with Jay Spieth teeing it up.
Yeah, exactly. Pegging it, even if he's no chance for
I think no
um
chance. I mean, if you get in,
he's like, yeah, no, there's never not a chance. I just
my question is if he gets, let's say he gets in on the bubble, he's 50th, like what does he need?
a
Like if he
lot.
needs the sole second or something, it's
Well, no, because I think a win would bump him to like fifth, so Soul second would probably be 15th. Like I
okay.
think it'd need a top four.
That's yeah, that's still a tough app. But it's only a 50-man field. I mean, I mean, Scheffler will beat you, but can you beat the other 40?
Yeah, but like a T8, I don't think is gonna do it.
Yeah. But I mean, the hope is he's 48th to start this week that he can,
Right. I think a decent for me, I was thinking like, hey, if we can get inside the top 40, I think that's a pretty damn good week.
yeah,
Like go from there. Because I don't see the high end finish being possible,
yeah,
but
it's
I
fair.
do see a cleaning up of last week resulting in like a T14. And I
Yeah, I'd
think uh,
take that.
he's got a couple T12s here. Like I think that's a very reasonable possibility, and that gets you to 41 or something like that. 40.
Yeah, no, I'd take that. Um, yeah, get here and a much beefier, test in the Baltimore
Yes.
area.
Yes. K's will
Um,
be. I'll have to put
it's
on 20 pounds to lose them that week.
yeah, I was looking at the weather today, Dan. It's actually been very, very nice here, but it's supposed to heat up. Yeah, I'm seeing
Yeah.
like 90s every day.
Chills.
Yeah, walking that place in the low 90s. Oh, you'll see. You'll see.
Yeah. I believe it.
Yeah, it's Valley Caves Valley for the valleys are yeah. Um, but anywho, we got to get there. Jordan's got
Yeah.
to get there. We'll be there, but Jordan's got to get there, and that's kind of the most important
Yeah.
thing.
Starts Thursday morning with a 66
Yeah,
out of the
some
gate
breathing
here.
room after Thursday would be nice. If we're playing catch up after Thursday morning,
Yeah. I just yeah,
s-
I think he needs to have the right like goals. Like I think the goal should be to try and win the tournament. And
I
obviously we
agree.
we chuckle at that. But if you come up short of that goal, you're at least you would think you're in the top 20 or so.
Yeah,
But you shoot for the top 20 and you come up short of that goal. And we're starting to get icky. Bob and I were thinking it's probably that top 35, top 40 range where you start to feel slightly like uncomfortable about the movement.
yeah.
And then anything kind of below that, you're like, you're hoping guys behind aren't making birdies and it's flip-flopping a lot and it gets stressful Sunday. So,
No, for sure. I mean, thankfully, I'm getting DMs on Instagram. I'm like, folks, I'm going to be paying attention to data golf and the percentage they have next to his name because that takes into consideration what everyone's doing. So,
yeah, data golf's a great tool for it for
exactly.
sure.
Updates every 6 minutes. I'm just going to be refreshing and looking at that because there's just everyone. One guy makes a birdie here, another guy makes a bogey. I mean, it changes.
It changes so quickly. Yeah. And
Guys are
we,
moving in, guys are moving out.
yeah. And we don't know how to calculate FedEx Cup points. Like,
No, and I have no interest in learning how to.
no, me neither.
I'll let
But
the computer do the work.
yeah, exactly. But until then, catch you all Thursday morning
Enjoy the golf, everyone.
with a little
Take care.
peace.